What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Golden Dice Podcast. Today, we got a spoiler recap. We've got, 42 cards to get through. We're going to do our best because there's a lot of good ones in there. A lot to talk about. I'm Jack. I'm your host, as always. And with me, I've got Brian. Brian, how are you today?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. And as mentioned in our previous podcast, Flock decided last second that he couldn't do this or something. He's doing a fresh install of his computer.
PC apart 3 hours after he told him we're podcasting tonight. We talked about it
all day. Moving
on
from that schmuck.
All day.
We're going to jump into it.
Anyway.
This will be one of our last ones. We might only have one more spoiler recap after this, just the way they're doing it.
Don't tease me, Jack.
Yeah, we might split it into two just because there's still like half the set. I think we're at like 150 cards or something.
Give me two.
But we got one more week, two more leaders, and a bunch of cards. At least one more week until we have all the... There's a draft this week from FFG. That's their stream. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's jump in. I'll take the first one. You're all clear, kid. It's a gambit, 2-cost event, vigilance, heroism. Defeat an enemy space unit with 3 or less remaining HP. If you do, and an opponent controls no space units, you may give an experience token to a unit. It's an uncommon. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I do think it's good that Blue Hero gets more removal. Like, I don't think this is amazing, but I think it'll be a potential option simply because there's not a lot of options within Blue Hero, but especially at 2-cost.
It's cheap, you know? I think that's really good.
I mean, this seems like great in Ray. Like, think about if you like...
Yeah, you give it to Ray and you give an experience token to your turn 1 play.
Yeah. If you, I mean, you won't have initiative. I mean, I guess it depends how it goes too, because like if they pilot fast,
same thing as Power of the Dark Side. You just claim, take it.
Yeah, but like you wouldn't be like I'm just trying to think like if I play, right, you're Ray Red or something, right? I play Sabine. Normally, I would like to first action turn 2, like give her an experience, so she's a 3/4, and then play this, and now she's a 4/5. Yeah. With the 1 ping on attack. That just might be too greedy. You might just rip this and just be fine. It just feels bad to like float a resource potentially.
Yeah.
But you could follow it up with like an R2. Right? If you go like Sabine into your all clear kid into an R2 or something like that, like could be fine.
It's situational, but I like it. Ironically, even though Han's on it, doesn't jive with Han too well.
Well, yeah, this is Blue Han. This is Blue Han. Yellow Han's the odd.
Yeah.
The odd boy. But yeah, I like this. I mean, I think it is a little bit more specific, so I could see it not seeing play because of that, but I don't think it's like a bad removal card.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's decent, at least.
Cool.
Big's Darklighter, They'll Never Stop Us, is a 3-cost unit on the ground or space, as we'll see. Is a aggression heroism 3/4. Or if you're piloting for 1 aggression heroism, is a 2/1 rebel pilot. If attached unit is a fighter, it gains overwhelm. If attached unit is a transport, it gains +0/+1. If attached unit is a speeder, it gains grid. There's a lot going on this.
A lot of words.
But I like this card. I think it's really good. It's a good turn 1 play in like bigs. If you drop like an A-wing and then you throw bigs on it, I think that's pretty decent with legibility. I think he finds a home in some decks. Even as a 3/3/4. He's okay. The 3/3/4 we've been talking about this set where like I think we've been spoiled by FFG where they've been giving us 3/3/5s a lot. Kind of rough, but I think he's meant for piloting because he is like one of the pilots in Star Wars, you know. So I like him. I think there's a lot of utility there. You know. Yeah,
I think it'll be great in the bigs. Right, you drop an A-wing and then use Big's ability. Or wedge ability, to play him for free. So you could start with an A-wing that's a 3/4 with raid 2.
Yep.
And has overwhelm because I think the A-wing's a fighter. I'd assume it's a fighter.
Yep.
Which maybe isn't like crazy relevant, but if they drop like a Black Sun or something, that might matter.
Sure. Yeah, I mean there's versatility there for sure. So I think he's good.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we got a 5-cost Han Solo. If we didn't have enough Hans already, you're getting more. This works with the leader. 5-cost Cunning Heroism. Han Solo has his moments. You can play him as a ground unit as a 4/5 with Ambush, or you can play him as a pilot. 2-cost Cunning Heroism. When played as an upgrade, you may attack with the attached unit. If it's the Millennium Falcon, it deals its combat damage before the defender. It's a +2/+3 as a pilot, and it's a legendary.
This is our fifth
Yeah.
Han Solo.
Including leaders.
Yeah. Han 1, Han 2, Han Ambush Unit, Han Leader Set 4, and Han Legendary.
Nissan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this card seems great. I mean, yeah, 4 or 5 ambush isn't amazing, but again, like you're gonna have to realize pilots will probably do something very good as a pilot, and maybe a little undercurve as a ground unit. And you see with Bosk, like a 4 or 5 ambush is still pretty good. Bosk has a bigger upside, obviously, as a ground unit because of his ability to ping extra damage after, but 4 or 5 ambush at 5 isn't anything to necessarily sneeze at. So I like him, and then obviously the ability, even if you just like slap him on, pay 2, attack with a unit, go to base, it gets +2, and you know what I mean. Like even if it's not on the Falcon, that's pretty good.
And now we have 3 Falcons to choose from, right? You've got set 1 Falcon, set 2 Falcon, set 4 Falcon. I think that there's some real versatility in this unit. Good legendary. I really like them.
Yeah, really good. Like we said, it works with the new Han leader being an odd cost.
Yep.
As well.
Good on both sides. I dig it. Luke Skywalker, the hero of Yavin, aggression leader, action, exhaust. If you attack with a fighter unit this phase, deal 1 damage to a unit. Epic action if you control 6 or more units. 6 or more resources. Choose 1. Deploy this leader to the ground, or deploy this leader as an upgrade on a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. He's a 5/6 on the ground, or he's a +4/+5 as a pilot. This upgrade can be defeated by enemy card abilities. Attached unit is a leader unit. If it's a fighter, against on attack, you may deal 3 damage to a unit. He's a Force Rebel pilot. I've seen some people playing around with the idea of this leader in a couple different archetypes, and I think from every angle, he seems pretty good. I like him a lot. He's one of the ones I'm pretty excited about on the hero side. Him and a leader we'll talk about coming up soon. But yeah, I like him a ton. I think he's super interesting. I think he's a very go fast, kick butt unit. So
yeah, I also the big thing we've talked about with pilots, leaders being negated by confiscate, disabling fangfighter, bamboozle, etc. He gets around that as an upgrade. This upgrade can't be defeated by enemy card abilities.
Yeah.
So that's he can still. It's not like it's Chewbacca. He still can be rivals fall or take down if I mean takedown's unlikely. You're gonna have to chip damage into it type thing because he's already given it 5 health. So takedown's unlikely, but that instance is there. So it's like you can still defeat the unit with cards. You just can't defeat the upgrade.
Yeah. I haven't mentioned anything about showcase art for any of these yet, but this is one of the ones I want to chase for sure.
You know what this reminds me of?
Rookie Pilot from Destiny.
Rookie Pilot from Destiny.
Yeah. I do not like the base art of this card.
I actually kind of like it, but I'm excited. It's one of the ones I'm excited for. To me, it just captures like the young Luke Skywalker, like excited to get into the battle. Like he looks like just a young farm boy.
Yeah,
eager.
No, I dig it. I like the you can see R2E in the back.
R2E.
R2E. No, I like him. He's one of my chases for sure.
And Force Rebel, like 2 very good traits out there. So yeah, I mean we'll have to see. 6 deploy as always is going to make me hesitant on some things, and we'll see his other red counterpart being very unique in his ability, like Poe we'll talk about. So it's like tough. Like does he get pushed out by that? But I mean like all of his abilities are pretty good. Like Bo-Katan, similar Bo-Katan, but fighter's more of a used keyword. Like you're going to get that off easier. Like Bo-Katan forces you to play Mandos. This lets you play a lot of different stuff, like just generically good stuff, and their fighters as well. And his on attack will be crazy. 3 damage to a unit. I think that's just really good.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, he can make good trades. He can go into base. He's a really. I think all these pilots are versatile.
Yep.
So yeah, cool.
Next up, we got Data Vault. 33 health, green base, command base. Your minimum deck size is increased by 10 cards. It's a rare. It's on Scarif. How have we gotten 2 rare bases both on Scarif? Security Complex and Datavolt.
Yeah.
Um,
every of these rare bases, I'm not smart enough to comprehend any of their usages outside of like,
yeah, I
that
mean, this one is
that
just
was
like you're obviously trying to get more health to make your deck worse. Like adding more cards just makes it more inconsistent. And it's actually funny because that's been like a debate among people. Like there's been some deck lists that have won with like 53, 56, etc. cards. And people say that's like good, but it's just funny that FFG is coming out with bases that like show that they agree that if you have more than the minimum required
yeah,
cards, it's worse. That's why you're getting extra
right.
health. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The other ones are interesting, like the red base of going down.
Yeah.
5 cards, but losing 2 or 3 health is more interesting to me than this. I'm not really sure I'm going to play this.
No.
Like, I don't even think Droid Manufactory is that good, but I feel like I'd rather play Droid Manufactory than this.
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason. So we argued everything in comparisons, like for the first 3 sets. And if we're going about rare bases and we're going about green rare bases, ECL still king, right? Until rotation, I don't think there's an argument to be made that we're not using ECL until we can't use ECL. So, Droid Manufacturing, Data Vault, like, okay.
And the decks that want more health, like if you just don't want ECL because you want more health, like
Yeah.
you probably just run 30. I don't want to add 10 cards to my deck to get 3 health.
Yeah. 10 cards is steep, too. I mean, it's super steep. So, I don't care about this card.
Yep.
If I'm being honest. I still want the hyperspace foil of this
Oh,
card.
it looks great.
You
Yeah.
know,
Marco did a great job.
I like Scarif.
Yep.
I've really come around to Rogue One in my life.
Finally, dude. Oh my
the
gosh.
last decade or so.
My wife still has like a video of us arguing. We were playing WoW, like a LAN in my basement.
Yeah.
Just playing WoW, just screaming at each. Not really screaming. We were just
not screwing each other. Yeah. We were arguing.
Arguing about Rogue One. I was like, "You're insane. This is like the best, arguably one of the best movies." Top
Honestly, we have a ton of videos from your wife arguing in the basement about Star Wars.
Arguing Star Wars. Yeah.
Padme in particular comes to mind. There's more than one Padme. Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. Red 5, running the trench.
Speaking of a good fighter, dude.
Space unit. Yeah, this is a loot tech if I've ever seen it. So, aggression, heroism, 3 cost, space unit, 3/4 rebel vehicle fighter. On attack, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. Yeah, seems good to me. I'm gonna call out Shane right now. This is great for your Mace Windu deck, dude. So good.
Oh yeah.
Really
great
good.
for Shane.
Yeah,
for Shane, for Mace,
for Mace,
for Shane too.
Shane is a leader in this game. Yeah, no, I think this is interesting. I think it definitely works with Luke. Obviously, they were probably spoiled together if the chronology makes sense. But it's interesting. I think it might take over the place of Red 3 as the 3.
Yeah, like we said,
Red space unit.
2/3 is tough.
Yeah, with Raid 1, but you're not making the trades. Like, it's not going into A-Wing. It's not, So, I think it's definitely taking the place of Red 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. And this also can help clear up things. Just in a sense of, like, if they ECL something, it's left damage. You don't have to burn your Tarkin Town on the that unit. Like if you play Red 5 and then get to attack, like have initiative, can attack and kill it. Like there's some scenarios there. And then if Luke is attached to this, you're dealing. Luke is just 3 damage, right?
On attack, yeah, but
so you do Luke's thing first, then you do this. So you could deal 5 damage to anything.
If you have another fighter out, yeah, you could.
Well, no, if he's attached to a fighter.
Yeah, but he's a 3 cost, so I'm saying before he's even deployed, right? So you attack with something.
Oh, else, yeah. I mean, but yeah. So you at your 5 resource turn, maybe you play this and you play a 2-drop or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that might be the strategy too for these pilot decks of like, you might need to play 2 cards the turn before to make sure you have a pilot, like have a ready vehicle to pilot. But yeah, I mean, to me that seems insane. I mean, Luke's just blowing out with just 5 damage, boom. Get out of here. 5 damage. Boom. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Because you do Luke's trigger first to deal 3 damage because you're piloting a fighter, and then you do the on attack with Red 5 to deal 2 to a damaged unit.
Definitely, I really dig this card a lot.
We haven't seen a lot of. I know indirect people's mind might go here, but I don't think Hero has gotten a crazy amount of indirect.
The Y-wing has indirect, right?
Yeah, the Y-wing. My mind just keeps going to like Boba, Fast Fire Spray, the First Order stuff, like, and maybe
Boba
there is,
is
and I'm
the
just not
indirect
processing
leader,
it.
I feel
But
like. Yeah. So I mean, that they've done that before, where
yeah, they get
some of
stuff.
the keywords go to certain factions, but
Yeah.
Cool.
This is me. 1-cost event, Trench Run, Gambit, Aggression, Heroism, attack with a fighter unit. For this attack, it gets +4/+0 and gains on attack. Discard 2 cards from the defending player's deck. Deal unpreventable damage equal to the difference in the discarded card's cost to this unit. It's a rare. Obviously, the upside's insane. Pay 1 to deal 4. And I mean, like, discarding 2 could be relevant. It's just very scary. Unpreventable damage, so your shield won't protect you.
Yeah.
And so you just want to think about that, right? If you're 5 health, like you're definitely feeling pretty. 4 health, you're like on the border. If you're 3 or below, it's probably a little scary to be doing this. But yeah, I'm glad. When this was first spoiled, it was funny because everybody read like bits and pieces of it and didn't fully like put together like, oh, I'll just like stack my deck with 4 calls and then do this. It's like, nope, your opponent's deck. And people are like, oh, it's added together, you're just dead. I'm like, no, it's a difference. So
Yeah.
it'll be tough. Like aggro mirrors, this is gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Like the highest cost is
like 2 damage, maybe, if that.
at most it
maybe
would be
3?
4, right? If they hit a wrecker and a I guess they
Yeah.
could play 1-drops or if they hit a wrecker and an R2. But in general, yeah, it'll be like a 2 or 3 and a 4 and a 5.
Yeah, no, I like this card a lot. I feel like this could be a blowout for both sides, right? Like if the fighter is piloted and then it's already beefed up, +4 is insane. And I feel like this is like a heroic sack kind of like pump to win a game.
Yeah, I mean even you could argue it's just potentially a little better. Your unit might not die, and you deal 2 more damage. You don't draw the card.
Maybe.
But there's actually a card comparable to Heroic Sack that we'll talk about a little later, actually. That might just be a straight upgrade for that. But yeah, I like this.
Yeah, definitely. Massassi Tactical Officer is a 1-cost ground unit, aggression, heroism, a 0/4 rebel. Action, exhaust, attack with a fighter unit. It gets +2/+0 for this attack. I feel like it's a little too slow for what aggression usually offers. I mean, it's fine. I feel like it's more of a limited card than anything else. It's beefy enough. It doesn't make trades. It's a rebel though, so like that does help for certain leaders. I'm so on this card.
Yeah, no, I mean like I'm sure there's scenarios where you could say it's the situation's good in which this is, but in general, just I'd rather do other things, rather play other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean you can definitely play this and win games. Like I don't think it's a terrible card. I just think the game's a little fast and this field's a little slow.
Yeah. I mean, it also it's kind of splits. It does an interesting thing, right? Where it's a ground unit that interacts with a space unit. So like you have to do both. You have to play both ground and space to get it going, and like I don't know. It just feels too slow. It feels too clumsy, too awkward for me.
Yeah, and it's like obviously not a turn 1 play. It could be like a decent filler. Like we've seen a lot of pilots be 2-cost. So like if you go A-wing and do a 2-cost pilot and this guy like yeah, like I don't think that's bad, but I don't know. I just don't see him making the cut in my actually I'm going to add 10 cards, my 70 card deck, right? I'll be at 60 cards main deck, 10 side.
My thought goes to those like senators in set 3 where it was like exhaust to do this and exhaust.
You did have to pay for those, so those made them exceptionally worse. But yeah,
but like this is almost on the same level, if not a step better. But like, not great.
Yep,
not great. So,
Radiant 7. Oh my gosh, when was the last time I read Roman numerals?
It's 5. It's 511. Yeah, 7.
I honestly look at the Super Bowl every time. I was like, I don't care, bro. Just say what it is.
Just say it. Yeah. Exactly.
Ambassador's Arrival, 7-cost space unit, just gunning, 5 attack, 6 health, Republic vehicle, capital ship. Each enemy non-leader gets -1/-0 for each damage on it. When played, deal 5 indirect damage to a player. This is a legendary as well. Art super bland. I mean, like it's I don't know. I mean, I know there's only so much you could do with just like space in a ship, but I feel like other stuff looks better. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's amazing. 7-cost, 5/6. I know you're dealing 5 when it's played, and you have like a static ability to where like this could, like if they're spreading out a bunch of damage and then you drop this, like that could be like a big nullifier for them. But I don't know. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's terrible. I mean, Republic Trade is good. Capital Ship is interesting because it could work with Piet if you do like a TDR Piet.
Yeah, but
build.
a TDRP it like.
But I don't think this makes the cut for that, anyways, potentially.
No,
but that's
I
all.
don't think it
That's
does
just
either.
off the top of my mind. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
This
No,
could
I
be like
agree.
a one-off. But
It's a super it's super niche. It's a weird legendary. And that's fine. Like I'm totally okay with a cunning legendary being weird and niche.
the
and
cunning
so,
legendaries aren't pushed, baby. Just kidding. That Hamid.
Yeah. Yeah. But the cunning but cunning has been dominant for for a while now. Like I'm okay with this being a 7/5/6 where you get 5 indirect damage. And the 5 indirect damage can go right to base. And you could have your enemy's board could be totally blank as far as damage on it, and it does nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but like paying 7 for a 5/6 that just deals 5 on play, like to the base, like that's not terrible potentially either.
No, but I think it only finds play in Piet where you're playing it for 6 or 5. I don't think that I want to make a slot. So let's think about 7 costs in yellow.
Yeah, Han and Emphas are probably.
Han and Emphas are better than this 100%. Right, and Emphas even can remove things from hand, or put things from your opponent's board and back to hand on space where you can't touch them. Where this might all right, what does it do exactly?
Yeah.
So I don't like this card.
Yeah.
Even if it's a legendary, I'm not high on it. People smarter than me might crack it and figure it out, but currently, nah.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy for thinking that. You got the next one.
The Tantive 4, Fleeing the Empire, is a 7 cost 5/7 Rebel vehicle capital ship. Heroism single aspect, sorry. It's Sentinel, Event Blade, create an X-Wing token. I'm kind of on the same page as I was the last thing, where it's kind of
Yeah, it was kind of doo-doo.
meh.
It was when this first got spoiled, it was like a live YouTube video, and the person like blanked out the text box and was like trying to have people guess and stuff. But I think somebody linked that in KTOD, like the image. And Todd was like, "This is terrible." And then they eventually linked the full thing. He's like, "Okay, might as well have been blank anyway."
Yeah. So you're playing a 7/7/9 basically, right? You're getting the X-Wing token, but and it has Sentinel.
But it's just like at that point, the
Play
Sentinel,
a Bright Hope.
oh, it's just the Sentinel's just like too late, probably.
It's way too late. 7 costs for a 5/7 Sentinel. This should
and
be
it's just like I know the meta's going to change, but if this was in set 3, like this would never get played because it's just like Sabine, Django, Han are all just going to run you over.
Yeah, it's too little, too late.
Yep.
Right, and I don't care about the X-Wing token. It comes in exhausting.
Yep.
You're playing your whole resource row for this thing. Maybe limited, if that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think so though. Even then.
Cool. Darth Vader. Victor, Squadron Leader. Apparently that was his name change, but also Destiny. He had the same subtitle. So I mean, I don't know. I don't follow Star Wars that closely to names of that. Apparently he used to be Black Squadron, I think, but now it's Victor Squadron. So I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Command, Villainy. Action, Exhaust. If you attacked with a non-token vehicle unit this phase, create a TIE Fighter token. He's Force, Imperial, Sith pilot. If you control 6 or more resources, you can deploy him as a 5/6 ground unit, or you can play him as a upgrade on a vehicle for +5/+5. He is blank on ground, but as a pilot, the attached unit is a leader unit, and when deployed as an upgrade, create 2 TIE Fighter tokens. The only downside for me is the 6 cost. I actually like a lot of this. I know the token generators have been a little rough, looking at like Nuke Gunray, looking at Rex. And even there's some question marks around Akbar just because it's a little weird. But his is just like, dude, you have initiative, you play a vehicle in space, they play something, you claim initiative, you open attack, you do that damage to base, you now create a TIE Fighter token, and you play your 3-drop. So, like, initiative might be a little rough with him, but, I mean, you're going to always have something to deploy on. And even deploying on just, like, a 1/1 TIE Fighter to make a 6/6 in space, like... and creating 2 other TIE fighters.
Huge.
I'm a fan.
I love this card. Is it the best card ever made? No. Does it beat out set 1 Vader? I don't know. Maybe they do different things. They're built for different purposes. Potentially.
Right? I would wager that he's better.
Really?
Yeah.
So when this card got spoiled, people were very bitter. People were very disappointed in the performance of, not the performance of, but just the look of the card, right? People were like,
you're not far out to say that people were disappointed in the performance when things get spoiled. People go way too fast on some things.
Well, people were like, I've run this a million times into my friend who played Sabine Green ECL, blah blah. So like, it's one of those things where your results may vary, but like I think this is a really fun leader to play. I think he has some really cool things with yellow he can do with Triple Dark Raid. I think.
Yeah, we were just talking about just before this the garbage rollers video.
Yeah, the garbage rollers.
Tyler playing Vader yellow against
yeah.
Inception on what was he? P at red.
P at red. Yeah. And
they even kind of said like that's a good matchup for Vader, but I mean
yeah.
that was like just pretty good. There was a lot of good things going on. He played you can have 15 copies of this.
Swarming Vulture droid.
Yeah, the Vulture droids.
Yeah, I mean that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just a 5/5 upgrade in space, already attaching to at least a 2/2, like a 7/7, or let's just even say it's a TIE fighter, 6/6 in space that you can't bounce. Like, that's just going to be crazy value. And he's also
more TIE fighters.
You're getting 7/7 stats when he deploys. Yeah.
Yeah, I think space. This is super fun. So I will say right now, expect when this set comes out, I'll be playing a lot of Vader.
Yeah, I think he's good. I mean, especially, again, we have no insights on anything, but like if the interaction with Han and DJ were to be corrected or fixed, I hope DJ's not banned. I hope Han's not banned, but maybe the interaction gets fixed. Like, then my my worry for 6-cost leaders gets alleviated at least a little bit. I mean, you still got to deal with Sabine. You got to still deal with some of these fast stacks, but he's a 6-cost leader to me that seems super interesting. So if like that gets fixed, I think he's definitely super viable. If it doesn't, I still think he's very much worth looking at. He seems pretty solid to me.
Regardless, I want to play him. I think he looks like a ton of fun. I can't wait to put him on the belt.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Victor Leader, leading from the front, is a 3-cost space unit command villainy. 2/4 Imperial vehicle fighter. Each other friendly space unit gets a +1/+1. So this is like I was gonna say the Veers of this set, but no, it's every space unit gets +1/+1 is really cool, especially in obviously a set where space is the key. But this for sure goes into a Vader deck. You deploy Vader onto this thing, huge. You can't bounce him, you can't fight him. Dread it, run from it.
Yeah, it can be pulled off Vader unit as well from set 1.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Super cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Good rare.
Same page.
Dope.
1-cost event. I have you now. It's a tactic, cunning, villainy, attack with a vehicle unit. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to it during this attack. Uncommon. It's kind of like shoot first, a little different in that you can not kill the unit and still take nothing. So I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't think it's bad. It's just
this is shoot first for vehicles, only vehicles after rotation, right?
But also potentially better in a sense that you could not kill the thing and you still take nothing back. Shoot first, you just deal combat first.
Right.
So if you don't kill it, you'll take the damage back, and you also get +1 with shoot first.
I like it, but it's also pretty situational.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not lighting the world on fire, like you like to say.
Yeah. Perfect.
Cool. Iden Versio, Adapt or Die, is a 4-cost ground maybe unit. Vigilance, Villainy, a 4/3 shielded, or a piloting for 3 Vigilance Villainy as a 3/3 Imperial Pilot. When this upgrade attaches to a unit, give a shield token to that unit. Really solid. Shielded is always decent, in my opinion. I mean, unless of course you get powered or something of that effect. But
Yeah,
I think it'd be
against
solid.
blue villain, you're gonna think about just
Yeah,
playing one space unit and then piloting it.
or bounce. Yeah, or bounce, something like that. But I mean, honestly, I think she's really cool. I dig her a ton.
I agree. I love this artwork of Iden too. I think it looks sick.
Yeah, where was this set one?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see some synergy in a second as well with a card that works directly.
Yeah.
Directly with her. I mean, obviously 4/3 isn't great for a 4-drop, but you're shielded. You'll be able to trade into some stuff like the K2SOs and whatnot of the world. There's a lot of 4-drops are now 3/5s that we've been seeing played.
Mm-hmm.
The new Ahsoka, Kira's been getting a lot of play. So yeah, she might be out of range of some stuff, but certainly 4/3 shielded, I think, will be pretty good. And I'll just go to the next card because I feel like that kind of frames a little bit about what we're talking.
Yeah.
The Corvus, 5-cost space unit, vigilance, villainy, Inferno Squadron Raider, 4 attack, 5 health, Imperial vehicle, capital ship, has Restore 2, and when played, you may attach a friendly pilot unit or upgrade to this unit. Defeat all upgrades on that pilot, remove all damage from it. So again, that's got to be in play, but this is nice in the sense of like if you whiff on ships early and you got to play a pilot as a ground unit a few times, you then can move it to this, and this obviously matters for Iden because if you go back, it says when this upgrade attaches to a unit. It's not a when played. So if you play Iden on 4 shielded, then at 5 resource round you hit base with her and then play the Corvus, you then can move her to this. It's now a was it 4/5 +3/3, so a 7/8 Restore 2 shielded.
Massive. And throwing fuel on the fire, right? If you're playing as Piet, costs 4 or 3. It's capital ship.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the discount with the combo doesn't really
Skyline.
matter, though, right? Because you're going to have to play that at 4. So it's like, can you make use of the extra resource? Depends.
Right.
But, yeah.
It depends. But I love that the set is opening up some new lines that, before was not a thing.
Yeah. And, I mean, blue villain getting restored could be pretty big, too.
Yeah.
Just them getting more access to that stuff.
Didn't malevolence or anything like that.
Well, I mean, it's also malevolence is a 9 or whatever.
9 exploit a million. Yeah.
Like this just being a 5-drop seems pretty nice.
Definitely.
Cool.
Wingman Victor 2, Mauler Mythal, 2-cost ground or space unit. Command villainy 3/2 on the ground.
That's not a space unit.
1
idiot.
Piloting in space. Piloting for 1 command villainy. You may play this, blah, blah, blah. When played as an upgrade, create a TIE fighter token, a +1/+1 Imperial pilot. Seems good to me.
Yeah.
2/3/2 on the ground is a little risky, because most things definitely trade with it. But, piloting is cool. You make a +1/+1 and another +1/+1. So.
Yeah, I think it's just, again, another one of those pilots that's like, obviously you want to play them as a pilot, but as a 2-cost 3/2 on ground, it's not that bad. Yeah, it dies to daring raid and stuff like that, which gets played a bunch, but, I mean, you're going to be able to trade with the Battlefield Marines, the Sabines, those things of the world that you want to make sure you trade with.
Absolutely.
Interceptor Ace, 3-cost ground unit, vigilance, villainy, 2 attack, 3 health, and has grit. Or you can play it as a pilot for 3-cost vigilance, villainy. Attached unit gains grit. It's an Imperial. It's a pilot. And as a pilot, it gives +2/+3. Love it as a pilot. Absolutely hate it as a unit. 3-cost 2/3. Are you kidding me? Like, make it a 2/4 or something. Like, the grit's never going to matter. It's going to die all the time on ground. Like, I don't think this makes the deck because it's like that bad in that sense. Like,
Hera disagrees. You still play it on 4, and then you
who disagrees?
hit it. Kira, you play it on 4.
Oh yeah, or even the new Asajj. Maybe I forget what her word is though.
I don't know. Asajj doesn't matter. She's terrible. Anyway,
is she? No, new Asajj.
Oh, new Asajj is okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I like these pilots that like maybe aren't the best ground units, but they're pretty good piloting. Whereas this is like pretty good piloting, but like terrible ground unit. So it's just going to lose ground for me on that sense.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool.
Nothing to add there. It's like poetry, because it rhymes. Wingman Victor 3, a 3-cost ground unit, backstabber, command villainy 4/3 on the ground, or piloting for 1, that's huge. When played as an upgrade, you may give an experience token to another unit as a +1/+1 Imperial pilot. I like these stats. Again, they're showing the versatility of plopping it on the ground arena as a 4/3, or the space arena as a 2/2 kind of, right, for 1. So yeah. I think both the Wingman Victors are pretty good. I like them a ton.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like we said, like ground 4/3 is not great, but it's passable in the sense that this is flexibility. There's no 3-cost 4/3s that are like ever played aside from Echo Base, and that's only because it has Sentinel.
Sentinel, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Stay on target. This is what I was talking about compared to Heroic Sacrifice. 2-cost event aggression. It's a tactic. Attack with a vehicle unit. For this attack, it gets +2/+0 and gains when this unit deals damage to a base. Draw a card. So it's like Heroic Sack in the sense that you do get to draw a card. You do have to hit base with it. But your unit doesn't need to die. And you also still do +2.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like this. I don't know if necessarily like a 3 of, but certainly in these space-heavy decks, this is a card you're going to want to consider, especially if you're playing, pilots probably aren't like necessarily going wide, but you're certainly playing a lot of cards because like you're playing a 2-drop and then you're playing a pilot on it, like et cetera type thing. So you're going to be playing out your hand at probably a decent amount.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's got the flexibility here or villain. I mean, as far as these archetypes, we've only seen half the set, right? So, I mean, this definitely has the potential to be in whatever, right? Villain or hero. Could be wherever. So,
a red-yellow space deck could run this, Heroic Sack, and Surprise Strike.
Oh, get me out.
All
get
the pumps,
out.
baby.
The possibilities are endless. Unlimited, even.
Unlimited.
Hit the next card. Guerrilla Soldier is a 3-cost, a single-aspect cunning ground unit for 2/3. Fringe Twilight Trooper. When played, deal 3 indirect damage to a player. If a base is damaged this way, ready this unit. That player assigns 3 unpreventable damage among their base and units. This strike me as like a Han 1 card. I mean, it's fine and everything else, but like specifically, if your opponent whiffs on a turn 1 play as Han 1, you're getting some serious value out of this card. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean also just
Han
like
2.
Even if they hit a turn 1, like if you go up to 3 resources in Han 1, play this.
Yeah,
it's dead. Yeah, like either they kill the thing or they put some on base and you get to ready.
Yeah, I mean this card has some serious flexibility. I really dig it.
Yeah, like obviously the stats are terrible, but it certainly is just a good ability.
It's early damage. I mean, you can't argue the benefit of early damage. So
yeah,
cool.
Sabine's Masterpiece, 3-cost space unit, just heroism, crazy colorful. 3 attack, 3 health, rebel, vehicle, fighter, specter. On attack, if you control a vigilance unit, heal 2 damage from a base. If you control a command unit, give an experience token to a unit. If you control an aggression unit, deal 1 damage to a unit or base. If you control a cunning unit, exhaust or ready a resource. It's a rare. A lot going on here. And I know most people's minds when you see Spectre and all these things, like this will be great in a Hera deck, and like sure it will, but also like I mean think of this just in like Sabine, like green-red. If you can get an attack off with this, like I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the play line where that works out. Like you don't want to deploy Sabine into nothing, but say you go like Battlefield Marine and the Sabine's Masterpiece and the deploying Sabine. It's like now you can attack with this, and you give an experience token to itself. It's a 4/4 in space, and you dealt 1 to base, and you hit for 5. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's necessarily a great line because you're just deploying Sabine, first action potentially. But to me, I was just like the blue one is the least exciting, but I think Command and Cunning seem kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you don't necessarily need all 4 for it to hit value. I definitely think that if you have the 2 colors that you have, It does make the value. Is it the best thing to play on turn 3? Probably not. I would imagine you might want this a little later and, hit on it at the next turn where you have a couple of options there. But
Depends on the deck. If it's just a command deck, you can honestly just jam this if you have a green as well, because that static effect, you could just keep giving it experience tokens. Whereas like the other ones, like, yeah, if I exhausted you the one turn, but now I don't get to, now it's just still just a 3/3 or something. You know what I mean? But if you give an experience token and sure they kill your green unit, you still got a 4/4 in space.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely upsides for any combination you make, but does it make the 60? Maybe.
I think I'm
really
pretty excited about this.
It's really cute.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Sure.
The command given experience, I'm very excited for that.
Sure. All of them are good, I think.
Yeah.
Turns on Tarkentown even too, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Poe Dameron, I can fly anything. Is an aggression leader. Action, pay 1, exhaust. Flip this leader and attach him as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. Epic action, if you control 5 or more resources, deploy this leader as a unit. When he flips as a unit on the ground, he's a 4/6. As a pilot, he's a +2/+1. Action, cost 1. Attach this upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. Use this ability only once each round. This is one of those leaders I wish we had Flockton on for tonight, because I feel like Flockton would not understand any part of this. Because
he's a pilot, but I can't deploy in space.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think he's super interesting as a, flip and deploy anywhere as a +2/+1. And as an action, he can just jump from vehicle to vehicle. Yep. So I think that we haven't seen this kind of archetype before, where your leader can flip and be useful places multiple times before his epic action exists. I think that he's definitely one of those aggro leaders that is going to do a ton of damage. But I also think that you need a lot of brain power to make him work optimally and ideally, and not get caught with your pants down.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is a pay one. Like, just you automatically always have a pilot to put on something, which I think can matter for a lot of these things that we've seen so far. I like him a lot. I think he's very unique in what he does. We'll see some unique strategies, like with a card eject coming up also. But even like if he's on a space unit, and we also have confirmation that if you attach him as a upgrade and then you eject him, which will put him in the ground unit, that's not using his epic action. So like you can almost get multiple deploys out of him, which is very interesting. But even like going into the 5 resource turn, he's already attached to something, or maybe you're just attaching him to a ready unit, and then you could like heroic sack with it, and then he's now back, and then you can epic action to bring him out. Like, there's a lot of ways in which he can just give you crazy value that we haven't seen before. And also, the biggest thing for this, I think, that frustrates me is that we've all these blue heroes are just so generic, like heal or shield, whereas like now we're getting this in red, which is like so unique. Like, I know Luke's a little bit more just like, oh, you ping a damage because you attacked with something, but like Poe is just so cool. And even if he doesn't pan out, I think it's just a really cool design. It just makes me a little frustrated at these like blue heroes that continually just be like nothing.
Yeah, I think he's interesting. I think the design space is super neat. And I think that people are gonna break him. Unbelievably so, I would argue.
Yeah, I mean, definitely looks like a good one. Cool.
Yeah.
Nabat Village, our last rare base, 27 health, the Cunning. Draw 3 more cards in your starting hand. You cannot take a mulligan. When the first action phase starts, put 3 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order. Rare base Ryloth. Art looks cool. I've actually seen some statistics that this is like kind of worse than that.
Yeah.
It might be better at like filling your curve, but worse at finding specific cards is kind of what it seems like. But yeah, I'd have to go back and um, look at the numbers.
I've already mentioned I don't understand any of the rare bases this set as far as like mathematical probabilities. So I don't know. I already have a problem as shown by like one of the last videos we made gameplay wise. That I don't understand the mulligan and resourcing decisions in this game too much. You know what I mean? So adding this into the interaction, I think is going to be tough for people like me who are kind of more casual than competitive. But I don't know if I want to sacrifice 3 health for this.
Yeah.
Personally. So.
Cool.
Eject is a 2-cost gambit event, command single aspect. Detach a pilot upgrade, move it to the ground arena as a unit, and exhaust it. Draw a card. It's a rare. Poe's gonna love this card.
Well, so that's what we're talking about with Poe, yeah.
Yeah. So Poe's gonna love this card. You can do a lot of cheating with Poe. Really interesting stuff. Other than that, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, there's a lot of pilot units that have better stats on the ground than as pilots. But like, if you can cheat and do some of this shenanigans, I'm sure you can get ahead somehow. I mean, not even talking about bravado and stuff like that. There's some stuff you could do, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I wonder, there's like situations where like you deploy your leader, like Darth Vader, you get your TIE fighter tokens, you hit it into base with your your 6.6, 7.7, whatever big unit is on him, and then eject, and so now you have a 5.6 on ground.
Yeah.
As well, obviously you can't hit in that sense. So it's like, obviously this is very good with Poe. But just trying to think of outside the lead. I mean, the fact that it has draw a card makes it feel like they could go into a few decks, a few more decks than what you would think outside of Poe. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit more of a fringe card outside of him.
I mean, even too, for the drawing a card aspect might be interesting. You know, I mean, and that's just thinking outside of the norm there. But I mean, this is a decent card, and again, we've always talked about how rares are not as what they seem, and they have a high skill ceiling. So like, maybe down the road we find other uses for Eject outside of Poe. Who knows?
Yeah,
not us.
Well, I mean, the way they've been going, we might not get any pilots outside of set 4.
Yeah, that's true.
Forget no smuggle.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for some more smuggle cards.
But we haven't seen any coordinator exploit card in this.
That's okay.
On the next one, obviously this is also great with Poe. Black 1, 2-cost space unit, aggression, heroism, straight at them. 2 attack, 3 health, resistance, vehicle, fighter. While this unit is upgraded, it gets +1/+0. And on attack, if you control Poe Dameron as a unit, upgrade, or leader, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. It's rare. No notes.
Yeah.
Really good.
A turn 1.
I mean, you deploy this on Poe, it's a 5/4 that deals 1.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah.
This makes some good trades.
Seems good.
Makes some good
Seems
damage
good to just deal 5 to base and ping another unit for something. You know.
Yeah, why not? You play this on Poe, or you play this with Poe?
You play this on Poe.
You play this on Poe. You attach Poe to the unit. Next turn, you swing. You eject Poe. Damage.
Well, you could do that all. Like, you play this turn 1, turn 2, you attach Poe, you hit base for 5, ping 1 to something, and then you eject.
Yeah.
That's your 3 resources right there. Now you have a 2/3 in space that still pings 1, and then you have a 4/6 or whatever he was on ground.
4/6 is correct, yeah.
And you drew a card.
Poe is one of those leaders that I feel like might get out of hand a little bit. I know we've long passed him since we've talked about him.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I don't know. I feel like there's some loosey goosiness, shall we say, with Poe that has not been discovered.
I mean, it's the first thing we've seen where he's like a multiple deploy leader in a sense. So we're just gonna have to see how that plays out and see how powerful it is. It definitely seems powerful. So.
Yeah, I think so. I'm scared of Poe personally. Before this even, good. Yeah, the leader Poe, the unit Poe.
You've been ECL Poe too many times.
Yeah, I've been ECL Poe a ton of times to ruin my day. So yeah, could be good. Black 1's great. Now, speaking of great cards, no glory, only result, a 5-cost event tactic of vigilance, villainy, take control of a non-leader unit, then defeat it. This is a control deck's dream, right? you take control of a K2SO, you take control of a Ruthless Raider, any of those kind of cards where the defeat effect hurts you. I've been scared of K2SO since March of 2024. You know what I mean? I don't want to say I'm a control player, but I have played on this. My teammates do play a lot of K2SO. But this is a good answer, right? This definitely takes the place of Vanquish.
Yep.
If you're still using Vanquish, stop using Vanquish. Still use Vanquish in certain spots because that. No, but this is definitely interesting where the text matters. Take control of a non-leader unit, then defeat it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still good in like control mirror matches too, right? If you take control of their super laser tech, right? If you like,
yeah,
I don't know what the exact line would be, but like you have initiative going in, you play a super laser tech. Like they originally played a unit, then they play a super laser tech. You both have them. You hit in, you're now at 5 resources, and then you play this, steal theirs, defeat it, and now you're at 6. Like,
yeah. I mean, it has versatility, right? So like we're getting a ton of when defeated effects because of the leader Thrawn this set, right? So think about Onyx.
yeah, obviously this is insane
Squadron.
with
Think about
with Thrawn.
I mean, you don't want to take a 2 cost, right? The 5 cost it should make sense, right? But like,
Well, yeah, it's less about what's in your deck too. You're stealing it, but it's also nice that like even if you're not getting a when defeated, it gets around certain cards like Chewbacca, Lurking Ties, things like that.
yeah, Lurking Ties have been a pain in the butt since set 2. Chewbacca is probably going to be a huge. I mean, let's think about it. Every command deck is probably going to put Chewbacca, command hero.
Yeah, why not? There's no
It's
downside
going
to
to put
it.
Chewbacca in it, right? Yeah, exactly. There's no downside. You can pilot them. You can put them on the ground. That's great. So yeah, I think this is a lot of versatility and a lot of great choices.
Yep. Hera Syndulla, 2-cost ground unit, vigilance, heroism. We've lost enough. 2 attack, 3 health, restore 1. Or you can pilot for 2. Attach unit gains restore 1, and she gives +2/+3. Rebel, Twi'lek, Spectre, Pilot. Seems fine. I mean, on these decks that don't want to deal with like the Queel discard stuff, like she definitely can come in and replace that. Queel's, better in the sense of if you're a mono blue deck or like you're heavily skewed to your base color, like him drawing cards is gonna be insane. But I mean, she seems fine. You'll see synergy with the Ghost later. Like, I mean, in a restored arc on the ground. I don't think she's crazy, but I don't think she's like terrible.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same camp where I really want to use Hera from set 1. You could. I've seen a lot of people say this goes right on like a restored arc 170 turn 2.
Sure.
And then you kind of slap in for
Now you're a 4/6 restore 2.
Yeah, exactly. A 4/6 restore 2.
Sure.
That's not bad. And then sure, maybe play like a chopper if you're playing a Hera.
Yeah, I mean that's the issue about like these 2-cost pilots at times of like you don't necessarily want to play a 2-drop in space and then follow up with a 2-cost pilot because it just feels resource inefficient.
Yeah, I wish she was a. Well, I respect that she's mirrored costs on both the ground unit and the pilot.
Yeah,
side.
she's 2 both ways.
I would almost wish that we like lost some stats to get her as a 1-cost piloting, so that she was a little more potent. But I understand, I respect it. I think she's fine.
She's meant to be played with a Ghost with a Phantom attached to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which we'll see.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Phantom over here. The Phantom 2, modified to Doc.
Hey, yo.
I can relate. So, the Phantom 2 modified to Doc is a 3-cost space.
Whoever's 53 minutes in, we'll see.
It's a Vigilance, Heroism, 3/3 Rebel, Vehicle, Transport, Spectre with Grit, as well as action cost 1 if this card is a unit. Attach it as an upgrade to the Ghost. It's no longer a unit. Defeat all upgrades on it and remove it all damage from it. That 2 Ghosts, we'll see in a second. And then attached unit gets +3/+3 and gains Grit. Wowzers. Like, Hera is not, again, like you like to say, not lighting the world on fire or anything, but like the Phantom 2 and the Ghost, it's so hard to say if they're going to see any kind of play like competitively, just because like they're a combo piece, and combo pieces are hard.
Well, it's tough because it's a combo piece of a 5-cost do nothing one plate. Yeah, if the ghost isn't dealt with, it could get out of hand.
Yeah.
But
A
yeah.
grid on a 3-cost unit or a 3 health unit is like meh at best.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could potentially gobble up some A-wing, some of these 2/3s that we've been seeing, and stuff like that. Some of these token units, especially. And what's interesting to me is just like you could get it to a grit, be a 5/1, and then like last second swap it to the ghost, and it takes all the damage off.
And then it becomes an 8/9 with grit, and then it's a monster, right? And that's some cool stuff too.
And Sentinel too, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's upgraded.
It's upgraded, gains Sentinel. So I don't want to rejoice for the Hera enjoyers out there just yet, but this is a step in the right direction, right? Hera 1 looks like, maybe not too much awful now. Hera from set 1.
I
still
still
pretty
think
terrible,
it just exists.
honestly.
Like the lines that it's tough because the lines that we're talking about aren't bad. It's just that like in the reality, you have to take it in consideration of the reality of the meta that we're in. It's just like Django Sabine, like that's what like I hate to keep going back to those 3 decks at times, but it's like they're just going to get swallowed up by them. Or even like think about how fast like that deck could potentially die to Poe. Like the Spectre units aren't like blowing the other units out of the water. If anything, they're a little bit more fringe. Like Kanan's really good, Sabine's really good, but like Chopper's not that great. Ezra's like fine, just tough in the 4 health for a 3 drop. Yeah, Zeb needs
ECL. Like I don't know. And then looking at the other Ghost, right? Like we're going to talk about the new Ghost in a second, but the old Ghost is a 6-cost, 5/5 shielded when played and on attack. You may give a shield token to another Spectre unit. So like this is nothing. It doesn't affect this here. I don't know.
It's definitely interesting though. The Hera unit can give an experience token to a unique unit, and if it has a grit.
Yeah,
like I said, it could get out of hand. Like I could definitely see it get out of hand. Like you'll definitely show up to locals and like just crush people with it potentially, because
we're talking pie in the sky, right? Like this is the stuff I want to happen. Will it? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, your opponent's going to interact with you. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. A 3/3 in space for 3. We'll see. I don't know. I have high hopes. But go ahead, Jack. Talk about the next one.
Next one is TIE Ambush Squadron, 4-cost space unit, command villainy, 2 attack, 3 health, Imperial vehicle fighter, has ambush, and when played and when defeated, create a TIE fighter token. It's a common. 4-cost, 2/3 ambush seems terrible. If tokens are huge and this can clean up some X-Wings or something, sure. I mean, you're ultimately going to get 4 or 5 worth of stats out of it, but as we've kind of seen, like, sure, 4 or 5 in space, but spread across 3 units is not as good as we might have hoped. So, yeah, I don't know.
Meh.
Yep.
Meh to bad. That's all. Phoenix Squadron A-Wing is a space unit, 2-cost, command, heroism, 3/2 rebel vehicle fighter, blank. Okay. I personally don't care for the 3/2s. I think that they have a rough stat line. They lose into almost everything turn 1. And even the ping effects they're going to lose to pretty quickly. So, I mean, in aggro, it's fine. But, I don't know. The blank text also makes it rough.
I mean, if you're an aggro deck and you're going space and you're looking, I mean, I think this is, yeah, it dies to daring raid and stuff, but it's just like they need to have it. And it's also, if you're an aggressive deck, like just 3 attack, like Kylo Ren Starfighter is really good. You know what I mean? And this is literally the same thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, it might even be better because it's got the rebel tag.
Yeah,
I do understand, like, you know, there's trade-off. Like A-Wing, Green Squadron A-Wing is a 1/3, so it survives other stuff, but it's never going to trade back if it's attacked into. Whereas this will trade back with most space units, but it might die a little bit more easier. So,
yeah, I have reservations because I'm a conservative player, but I understand what you mean as well.
Yeah. Why does it keep going back? That's weird. Poe Dameron. We didn't actually. The website didn't even. The official website didn't upload this, so we're working off a screenshot from stream.
Oh boy.
4 cost Poe Dameron, ground unit, command heroism, 1 hell of a pilot, 3 attack, 3 health. When played as a unit, create an X-wing token. You may attach this unit as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it, or you can just pay 2 to pilot him, and he's a +2/+3 resistance pilot. Yeah, I mean, certainly interesting. The 2 places, the one will be more widespread, potentially, is Han 2, right? You can play him as a 3-drop. You deal the 2 damage to him. He's a 3/1. He survives, but then when played, create the X-Wing. You move him to the X-Wing. He loses all damage. So now you have a 5/5 in space for 3. Really powerful play. The other is like ECL. I don't think you're going to want to burn ECL on like a 4-drop 3/3, but like if you attack into something, you live and then you move it over, same effect. You have a 5/5 in space and you ECL killed something on ground. Those to me are both very powerful plays. I don't think ECL will be as common, like I said, because he's a 3/3, but like Han 2 getting him out for 3 resources as a 5/5 in space seems pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to do something like that, just like Blue Leader, right? Like Blue Leader is an ambush 3/3 in space. Maybe.
Yeah, but then you have to pay
Can't do it
like
on
you
a
still have to
unit,
pay 5.
yeah.
You're not really getting around that. And also it's the damage is staying on it. What's important here is that he's moving to it as an upgrade, so all the damage falls off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Seems good.
Yeah. I like him. Give us a high res FFG, please.
I love Poe. Oh, yeah, this card is super interesting. Stolen AT Hauler is a 3-cost single aspect cunning space unit for 4/5 underworld vehicle transport. When defeated, choose an opponent. For this phase, they may play this unit from its owner's discard pile for free. It's legendary. I'm sorry. What the hell is this card? It's so chaotic and random and whack. It's a 3/4/5, which is massive, right? I don't know. I'm scared that this is just like coming back to haunt me. Mostly.
Yeah.
I get that it's a 4/5 in space, and that's great for 3, but oof. I don't know. I'm not going to be happy to open this as legendary in my packs. That's all I'm saying.
Man, I get the downsides. I understand them, but part of me just thinks like a 3-cost 4/5 in space with a set in which you can deploy your leader onto space units. Like, just like, all right, sure, maybe you don't play this on your 3 resource turn, but you play this on your 4 into your you play this at your 4 resource turn into Rio Durant deploy on 5 resources, and it's a transport. It's like stuff like that is where my mind kind of is, and it's like, or even think about like Han 1. Like playing this turn 1, like a 4/5 in space. What like we get stressed out when they play 3/4 in space, and I know that's ready, so it's a little different and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I just think there's going to be scenarios where this will be really hard to deal with. But also, there will be scenarios where you play it and it just gets Power of the Dark Side or like something like that.
It's a wet noodle.
And then they get to play it. Like, you need to be smart about it. I don't think it's always just like drop it on 3 and hope for the best. But yeah, I mean, I think the ceiling is very high, but the floor is very, very low as well.
Yeah, I personally, again, this is me being a conservative swoop player. I don't really care for the things that like. What was the card in set 2? The speeder, where you play it as the bounty. It comes back as like your opponent.
Oh, the 1-cost one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you play it as like a 2/1 or like a. Yeah, I think it's like, or maybe like a 3/2, and then when you kill it, you give an experience token to it or something.
Yeah, that gives me that vibes, but like much more potential to backfire. I don't know.
This feels more upside because I actually get to use it before. Like, I don't just immediately just give it to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what could kill it at 3 or 4.
4 would be like takedown.
Takedown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Power of the Dark Side.
Yeah, but power, you at least have like an ability to play around it and stuff.
You're all clear, kid.
Isn't that health remaining though?
A 3 or less HP. I'm sorry. I thought it was cost. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to play with it a little bit to see what the up or
Yeah,
downsides are. But as legendary, it's intriguing. Sure, maybe. I don't know. I'm afraid of this card personally. I'm not going to play it.
I love
I'm
it.
too scared.
I could see it
Ad
end up being
loves
in the
it.
binder, but I'm optimistic a little bit. So.
That's fair.
Something I'm not optimistic about. Sith Trooper, 3-cost ground unit, just villainy, 3 attack, 3 health, first order Sith Trooper. On attack, this unit gets +1/+0 for this attack for each damage unit the defending player controls. Yeah, I mean, sure, you could hit him for 5 or like something like that or whatever, but
Phasma likes it.
who?
Phasma?
Doesn't Phasma
What-
just do
What does she
to
do
base?
again? Yeah, I don't
If you
know.
did a first order unit, deal 1 to base.
Yeah.
When she's deployed is when she deals 1 to base any unit.
Yeah. Meh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to give it some kind of positives here because it's not very good.
Sith tag, maybe that matters at some point. Who knows?
Not right
And I
now.
mean, it is a first order card if you do want it with Phasma, but I feel like there'll just be some other stuff.
Kind of the same thing to the next card, which is a TIE Dagger Vanguard. 3-cost space unit, single aspect villainy. 2/2 first order Sith vehicle fighter. When play, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. Meh. It's kind of like the Interceptor from set 1, but worse. You gotta have some kind of. I mean, it's a good Vader pull, right? Like, maybe.
Yeah, dealing 2. Yeah, that lets you get a 7 damage in.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else could it be, but I don't know. It's
yeah,
okay.
I mean, just like general indirect if you're going that route. Like, it might not
Yeah.
be bad to have
Sure.
that, but yeah, 3-cost 2/2 is just a little rough. Like, you're not even trading
It's
with a
not
lot
going
of
to
2
stick
drops.
long, right?
Like Alliance X-wing, you survive. But I mean, if you're killing something with the when played, and then even you get traded out, you don't feel as bad. I guess, yeah, a little tough,
Yeah, it's rough. Both of these cards are rough. The Sith Trooper and the TIE Dagger are rough.
A little bit more hopeful for the Resistance X-Wing, though. 2-cost space unit, just heroism. It's a 2/2 Resistance vehicle fighter. While this unit has a pilot on it, it gets +1/+1. I mean, this seems great in like a wedge deck. Being able to drop this and then play 1 cost for free to immediately make this a 3/3 plus whatever the stats of the pilot. Seems interesting with Poe, just having a leader on demand, being able to deploy onto it. Like, there's some scenarios where I see this being a lot better, but it is scary to just play like a 2/2. You know what I mean? Like, because you compare it to the Alliance X-Wing is just a base 2/3.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
you
I like
put Poe in this, and it's a 5/4. BB-8 comes out, and it's like a what? 4/3 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this card.
Cool.
It's a 4/5. Well, BB-8.
What's BB-8 give? I don't even know.
+1/+2.
So be a 3/4 and then +1/+1. So it'd be 4/5 just with BB-8.
4/5. Yeah, and you can re-ready it.
And then you can pay the so you could swing.
Yeah.
That's a little scary to swing out.
That's rough. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that.
You might not be able to agree to that. You might just have to play a BB-8 and then a 2-drop or something.
If they're out, maybe it's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Admiral Trench. I can't. Oh, I can hear that on yours. So, Admiral Trench is our cunning villainy leader. Action. Exhaust and discard a card that costs 3 or more from your hand. If you do, draw a card. Interesting. Deploy. Action. Pay 3 exhaust. If you control 6 or more resources, deploy this leader. He's a separatist official.
Not an epic.
Not an epic. It's a repeatable offense. 4/5 separatist official. When deployed, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. An opponent discards 2 of them. Draw one of the remaining cards and discard the other. This gives me Afra vibes, but maybe better because you're not expecting your discard pile to buff or alter the stats of your leader. But he is a 6 deploy, so you're using half of your resources to give you a 4/5. So he's kind of tough. I don't know.
He just feels incredibly slow. And I mean, I think what you brought up is really just kind of the issue for me is like you're paying 3 on his deploy turn, whereas like these other leaders, Like, yes, he
3,
can come out again. I get it, but it's like, are you going to keep deploying him
4,
every
5.
um, and it's like when I have a leader that deploys on 6 and I just deploy them, I still have 6 resources to do things with. Whereas this, it's now like, yes, I play a 3 cost 4/5, which is obviously very good, and I get to draw one of the cards or something. But
Right.
I don't know. Like, Afra could deploy on 6 if she had to wait a turn to make sure ability goes off, and then she can still play Palp's Return, right? Which is one of like the most synergistic cards with Afra and probably Trench. Whereas Trench, it's like his deploy turn, you can't
You're gonna
because
have
you're
to
spending
wait.
3.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you get 7 the next turn after that, but like also you're just putting yourself behind for a 4/5, and I don't think the 4/5 matters. And I do think you want to play him in green so that you can access Palp's Return, like you said. So, I mean, what are the even if you wanted to Vulture on him, right? Like General's Blade, maybe. Just to get
No, I
damage
don't
in
even
is
think
like
you
a
want to Vulture on him.
7/8, but like
I think you're
that's what I
trying to
mean.
just
Like,
interact with your discard as much as you can.
but he doesn't really do anything, and that's the
Yeah,
problem
I
with
mean,
Afra too. Like, there's no
he's 6
synergy.
cost. We've said how much that worries
Yeah,
us, and
it's
he's
slow. It's too
extremely
slow.
slow in what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah. I don't care for him. I so my only reprieve here is that he's a rare, and I'm not gonna find him as much. You know what I mean?
There you go.
For showcases and otherwise.
Dude, he's an
Thank
official.
God.
You could deploy him and then Royal
Uh,
Guard. Boom.
uh,
Bada boom, bada
yeah.
bing.
He's got 3 resources for that, so yay, I guess.
On to the next one. A little bit more exciting. We have Invincible. 6 cost space unit. Cunning, villainy, naval adversary, 6 attack, 6 health, separatist vehicle, capital ship. If you control a unique separatist card, this unit costs 1 less to play. That includes the leaders. And when you deploy a leader, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand. So obviously, and legendary. Obviously, you're trying to synergize that with Trench, like we just talked about, multiple deploys, being able to bounce things consistently. I get it, but still don't love it. I mean, with Dooku, this is actually like super interesting. Yellow's starting to get a little bit more separatist cards, and then green just naturally got another invisible hand as well. So it's like this costs -1 and then minus exploit.
Oh,
So
calm
2.
down,
I'm doing the
Flock.
Flockton
Calm down,
fingers.
Flock.
This costs 3. You can play this on turn 3 or
Yeah,
turn 2.
yeah. Um,
It's 6/6 on pace. Like, and that's not insane to be because all you just need to do is exploit like one thing because your leader is going to be separate. So I'm pretty sure Dooku has that.
I gotta tell you, all these yellow legendaries, except for Han, I'm not like super thrilled about.
I like this one.
Yeah, it's fine. 6/6/6, and then you get a 3 cost unit, sure, or less,
Well,
whatever.
when you deploy.
Yeah. So there's some hoops you got to go through, for sure.
Just even a 5-drop 6/6 though.
Yeah.
Regardless of your leader, obviously they need to be separatist, or you just need another separatist out. But obviously you want to synergize it with your leader. I don't know. I'm a fan of this one. I do like this.
I'm not a fan, but I am.
No, it sounds like you're not a fan.
I'm not overwhelmed by it either. I'm pretty whelmed. I'll put it that way. Right?
Yeah.
Like we're not painting the town blue yet.
Sounds like you are.
Swarming Vulture Droid. This is more my thing. You know what I mean? Outside of the other one, we just looked at Invincible. So Swarming Vulture Droid is a neutral cost. A unit
No aspect.
in space. No aspect. Sorry, neutral from Destiny days. I saw the gray and got you. So 2 cost, aspectless, boneless space unit for 2/2. Separatist droid vehicle fighter. A deck can have up to 15 copies of this card. This unit gets +1/+0 for each other friendly swarming Vulture droid. Grievous stocks on the rise, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, it can go in literally any deck, so it's like whatever. I mean, this synergizes a lot with the Invisible Hand, the new one that we're getting, where you can search for a droid, right? That was what we talked about, how like it was kind of weird that there were no real droids 2 costs that you could like get off its when played ability and stuff like that. And on attack, whereas this, like, you're going to be able to feed your hand a lot with these things.
Yeah, but I also feel like if you stack your deck with too many of these, you just lose. Right.
I don't know, man. Like I actually I don't. I know this seems mean. Like if you just read something instantly, you could have
Oh,
15
it
cards.
screams me. You know why?
I
Because I
think this
love
is
it.
like solid though,
I love it, so I'm inclined to think that it's not that good.
and also you can pilot it too. Like to then make it harder to get rid of one of them. So now like your other ones are going to consistently at least be a 3/2. Like imagine putting Vader on this. He's a 7/7. And can go up.
I've already told the Discord that I must make a deck with 15 of these in it.
Yeah, and I don't
So-
think it'll be terrible. I think it'll be fine.
I do want to try it, but I do want to find the right leader for it. And I'm not sure who it is yet. It feels like it might be.
I think you're gonna need green because I think you're gonna want Invisible Hand.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Dooku might be good here. I don't know. Dooku. This
No,
is where
I mean,
Dooku shines, bro.
But it's just like sure he's a big leader, but then it's like it's just tough to like just play
it is
Vader.
really-
Like
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
Just
Yeah,
play Vader.
Vader's
You
great
still
with
get
that.
similar stats
Hey, listen. Any excuse to play Vader, I'm in.
because the Invisible Hand doesn't care about like separates anything. Like it's just
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could like sack a unit for it to come out early and stuff, like which could be half interesting, but yeah.
I do need to read Invisible Hand again. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me go back.
It's framing so much of the talk we're having.
Yeah, it might as well. The Invisible Hand, 6/6 separatist vehicle capital ship. When played, when this unit completes attack and survives, you may search the top 8 cards of your deck for a Droid unit, reveal it, draw it, cost 2 or less, play it for free. All right, so that makes sense. Depends.
And
on
yeah,
how
I mean, you
long-
could argue that like could be a Dooku deck because then you could get that out for 4 and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
and honestly, you'd even be fine sacking a Vulture droid to play that for 4, because then you, when played, get to play another one. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
don't like. I think that's like not meme. I don't know if it's gonna be. Not saying it's like tier 1, but I think that's like actually solid.
I think you play that in a certain decks and you cry about it. I don't know.
Like what?
I don't know. Something that goes fast and you kind of don't want to.
Sure, but I mean, you're going
I get
fast
the
too.
threat
If they don't
I get the
interact with
threat
your
is
space
there.
and you get
Yeah.
like 3 of these out, they're what 4/4s, and you still have the 6/6 out, or not 4/4s,
Yeah.
4/2s.
So you're hitting for 12 that turn.
12 just off the Vulture. If you have the Invisible Hand out, you're hitting for 10 or 18s. Excuse me.
All right, you've convinced me. Let's make it happen, Cap.
Boom. Now back to disappointment for me. At least. Ghost, Heart of the Family,
Hera
5 cost,
enjoyers.
Vigilance, Heroism,
Rejoice.
Space Unit. 5 attack, 6 health, Rebel, Vehicle, Transport, Spectre. Each other friendly Spectre unit gains this unit's keywords. While this unit is upgraded, it gains Sentinel. It's a legendary. Again, like I don't think it's trash. I mean, 5, 5, 6 in space. Rebel is a good trait to have. But I'm just afraid that it's just a little bit potentially too slow. Obviously, giving like if it has grit and it has Sentinel, and you give like Kanan grit and Sentinel, like that could be interesting. But
Yeah, it's trying to ask for too much. It's too slow. You have to load it up. You have to do some whack stuff with it. I just don't think it's good enough. Yeah, it comes out on 5, which is great, but like
it also gets hard countered by bounties.
yeah,
By the way,
and it like
you
it
would
just-
give all of your Spectres bounties.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just not something I'm looking forward to. I think this is one of the most disappointing legendaries in the set. If I'm being honest. Like the upside is great, but the downside is even bigger.
We haven't gotten to my most disappointing one so far.
Oh, really? Snap! Hold on. I need to look ahead because what?
No, looking ahead. What's the next card?
Yeah, okay. Nebula Ignition is
It's
a disaster.
this card.
So a 9 cost vigilance event, defeat each unit that is unupgraded. Yeah, I mean, what is this?
I mean, it gives Hero access to it, but it's just so like
9?
yeah. I mean, well, I get that it costs
9?
more than Super Laser Blast because the Super Laser Blast has 2 aspect symbols to it. It has villainy attached to it, where this is like any blue deck.
9.
But it's just like, bro, if they have a shield, they counter it. If they have an XP, they counter it. Pilots are going to be everywhere. They're going to counter it.
9.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the cost. I don't care about the crappy mode. It just doesn't.
I mean, if Hero had Super Laser Blast at 9, they would play it. It's just that the fact that it's not only costs 1 more, it's just got this crazy stipulation. Not crazy,
but it affects
but
your stuff too. Like it's. I mean, yeah, Super Blaze West does as well, but like, Hero's begging for something in a blue to go longer. This is not it.
Yeah.
That's rough.
This is my worst L so far, I think so.
It's a tie between the last two, but yeah, those are both disappointing.
There's another one that I didn't like that I don't remember. Cham Syndulla. 4-cost ground unit, aggression, rallying, Ryloth. 5 attack, 4 health, rebel Twi'lek. When played, if opponent controls more resources than you may put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. It's an uncommon. If you remember from that article Tyler put out talking about how aggression gets ramp, here it is. Feel a little debated. Almost half was expecting like a super laser tech resupply type card. I mean, I don't think he's bad. 5/4 obviously isn't amazing. Saw Gerrera doesn't get played, but also his impact if it goes off is higher than Saw Gerrera's. He obviously goes great in Han 1 and goes great into the Green Villain ramp decks. So it's like he's not. I don't think he's terrible. I think he's probably just like a sideboard card.
Yeah, he's fine. That's it.
I mean, 5/4 is not.
5/4 stat line is so tricky. What 5/4s are played? Right? Saw Gerrera? Not really played. There's another 5/4 I can't remember. Not really played. Oh, Pon Krell, right?
Isn't he 5 though?
I don't know.
More?
Bro, who plays Pon Krell?
Yeah,
I'm looking over it right now. Pon Krell. Pong.
Might be General Krell.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's General. 5/4.
No, but how much?
5.
Yeah, it's 5. So yeah, it's a little, even worse.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like for 4 costs though, he trades into Ahsoka, he trades into Kira and lives, right? He dies to K2. Like I don't think 5/4 is amazing, but also I think for his potential ability, like isn't terrible. I think about it, if they ramp, then you match it and you deploy your 5 costs too. Your 5 cost leader as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful for sure, but it's so situational. You know, like it's.
I don't think it's I don't think it's as situational. Like I think it's again perfect sideboard. I'm not saying like it's like a 3 of main, but it's like if Han is as good as he is right now, like think about this in Han. You'll get that off every single game.
There's no way they're not touching Han. I don't know.
I mean, I hope they don't. I don't think he's the issue.
I hope they do. I think he is the issue. I don't like him. I think he's ugly. I think he can't sell shoes.
Anyway, spoilers.
Put up the next card.
This was the other legendary I hated.
You hated this one?
Yeah, it's terrible.
This was so fun. It's Finalizer. Executor.
It's Finalizer.
Part of the Empire.
It might be worse than Finalizer.
It is. And not when it's sneak attacked out. That is great. It's 11 cost space unit. Might of the Empire Executor. Command Villainy 12/12 Imperial Vehicle Capital Ship.
That wine's hitting you, my brother.
It's too much wine. Overwhelm. When playing on attack, when defeated, create 3 TIE Fighter tokens. So imagine this, right? Imagine you sneak attack this out, you get 9 TIE Fighters, and you have to use 9 different
actions. and one. I mean, yeah, you sneak attack it out. Sure.
And Kadachi. From Flesh.
Yeah, and Kadachi. Yeah. I mean, sneak attack you'll do 12 to base. Or maybe a little less, but you'll get the overwhelm, and then you'll have 9 TIE Fighters left over.
Yeah.
So you have an exploit deck. What are you playing? What do you want to play?
This card sucks.
But yeah, sneak attack, you still have to... What, you have to be at 10 resources?
Yeah.
Less, I mean, if Piet's out, or something like that. If he's out.
So 8 with Piet,
So 8, yeah.
If he's still existing by that turn, right? You've got to last.
I mean, if
4
that's your
turns
win
to
con,
get
you're going to have to save P. You're not going to deploy P it when you can. You're going to have to wait
it. Yeah.
to that turn.
Yeah. No. This is a card that's fun, right? This is a finalizer. This is an endless legions.
But it's so frustrating, man. Just get like you can make like think of the new Avenger. Like even like Devastator, I don't think is like an amazing card, but it has its situations where it's included within decks because it has a good on play effect and has Sentinel, has Overwhelm. Where it's just like this is just like I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's just a little harder.
I wanted the Executor to be something special, right?
Yeah.
I don't know of the Avenger off of just like basic knowledge outside this game. The Executor, I know about the Executor.
Everybody knows that, yeah.
You know what I mean? This is one of those things that we're using as sleeve arts at the Galactic like the Galactic Championships.
Yeah.
And it's a meme card. So I don't know. I'd be a little frustrated if I was an everyday Joe, but I'm going to use this as a meme.
Yeah.
And a Palpatine green Endless Legions is garbage.
I mean, if you really wanted to play this, you probably go P it yellow.
P it yellow,
and you either sneak attack or triple dark raid it out.
Yeah.
Because triple dark decreases by 5. If P it's out, it's decreased by 7.
Yeah.
So it's 4 plus 3, so you can play this at 7.
Right? That math is correct. The wine is wrong.
So it's just like, and I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but it's like TDR's tough. I mean, you get the attack off returns to hand, but then you probably resource it after, like, you're never playing that again after.
Yeah.
Unless you got sneak attack or something. But then you're left with 6 ties after that point. Because it's not defeated, it just bounces to hand. And you did 12
Karachi.
Yeah.
This is a basement card.
Yeah.
This is the definition of a basement
or late
card.
night. When you go on late night again, you hit him with the.
I was gonna say, expect this on a late night stream or a basement stream.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if Tony's recovered from your finalizer. Your finalizer play.
Yeah. I love that. I love that stuff, man. This is the stuff that screams to me as a casual player. Like, this is fun. It's cute. It's cutesy. You can do things to get it out early, but like if you're playing a deck that is nothing but gas, you're not gonna get this out. Right?
Yeah, it's just like you play against any type of aggro or tempo, you're getting
But
rolled.
this is the norm, right? We're in set 4. This is the kind of stuff that we expect, right? Some of these legendaries just don't hit.
Well, we do have to keep in mind though that Tyler intentionally tweeted that they made Chewbacca because they felt like control was getting too good and they wanted faster decks to have an answer to that. Chewbacca was that. So it's just like, there's got to be, we've only seen half the set, so there's got to be more in this set that is going to be really good for control. I mean, they got a really good removal in that 5-cost.
Turbo Laser Salvo or whatever it is?
No, not that one. I'm not talking legendaries. I'm just talking control in general. So that 5-cost, take the control of it and defeat it. We talked about it earlier. I forget
the blue one. It's no glory, only results.
Yeah. So it's like, that's a really good card. So it's like, I wonder if they're getting anything else that makes control really good that they made them so concerned about control being too good that they printed Chewbacca the way he was. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, I'm excited to explore all avenues. This is one of those sets where I feel like there is some freshness coming on between the versatility of pilot leaders and otherwise. Even the leaders that aren't pilot, I mean, are very fascinating to me. So I don't know. I think this injects some new life into the game. Not that it needed it, right? Like, I think that the game is doing fine on its own, but there's some cool stuff going on in the set.
Yeah, I'm not like a doomer by saying this, like the game's struggling, but like I think it's good that this is a good set. I think it's good after coming off like 2 and 3, which weren't like amazing, but sprinkled in some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good that this set as a whole is looking good. Set 3, we got some good leaders, but not necessarily good cards in the deck.
Now, my concern going forward, thinking about rotation, this is set 1 next year when this drops, right? Like, how does that translate? You know, when we're looking at pretty much just space leaders. Does that matter?
I think it's fine because you're getting so many space leaders within this set, and you'll still have 4 sets by then as well. Like, it's not like this will ever be. Premiere will never be just this set. You'll have 5, 6, and then 7 as well, all with it. That'll all have their own, not space heavy stuff, but just like sets 1, 2, and 3, where there's, there's
Sure.
some type of Green Squadron A-Wing, some type of Red 3, some type of Bright Hope. I don't think they'll be reprinted word for word type thing, but
Right. Yeah, just a thought. Just a thought I had. Thinking about rotation on the horizon, you always want to think about how the balance changes.
yeah. Well, cool.
So, yeah, neat.
Hour and a half, baby.
That was exhausting.
Bro, that wine turned you in. You were ready to talk about every card. You were ready to go,
I
baby.
was. I'm sorry. That's all my fault. That's my bad.
I don't care. We'll be all right. As always, appreciate everybody tuning in. Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Blue Sky, Twitter, all those places. Be sure to tune in and check us out and listen to all the things that we're doing. Gameplay, 3 videos a week, whatever it might be. Yeah. Appreciate it.